Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be showing you the difference between block elements and inline elements in HTML and what we can do in CSS with them. Now, if you take a look at the browser here, you have this first paragraph in red, right? So this is your first paragraph and it's an example of a block element. Because after you add another paragraph after this paragraph, you can after paragraph 1, you can see that this paragraph 2 is actually in a new line. It doesn't continue right after this last paragraph 1 here. Okay, now on the other hand, inline elements, an example would be links. So as you can see, we have link 1, which is the red color-coded link here, and then we have another link 2. So after we add another link, right, you can see that link 2 is actually in the same line as link 1. That's why they're called inline elements. So how can we change this using CSS? So if we actually go to our style.css in Replit, if you actually notice before I go on, I actually gave IDs to paragraph 1 as P1. I gave an ID to paragraph 2 as P2. I gave link 1 the ID link 1, and then I gave link 2 the ID link 2. Okay, so now we go on to targeting these in CSS. So again, we target these using our hashtags, and I'm going to start with paragraph 1. Okay, so there's this property called display. And what this does is it changes the way your elements are displayed. So for example, paragraphs are block elements and they are always displayed as block elements unless you otherwise specify. And in this case, we can otherwise specify in CSS by using the display property. Now we can set display equal to either inline or block. Now because we want to change because we want to change the paragraph, which is a block element, to an inline element, that's what we're going to do. We're going to say inline, okay? And we're going to do the same thing for paragraph 2. We're going to do display. We're going to set it equal to inline, and then we're going to run it. And we're going to see now that paragraph 2 actually continues on the same line as paragraph 1. And that's what makes the difference. Now we're going to do the same thing for inline elements. We're going to change the display for it to be block elements. Now this is going to come it's going to come in real handy. It's going to come, how do you even say it? Real handy? Wow. Okay, it's going to come real handy. Is that even a saying? Now that I'm saying it, sounds weird. When you're building navigation bars, because when you are building navigation bars, sometimes you want them to be in a block instead of inline in the same line, or sometimes you actually want them to be in the same line. But right now, we're going to target our link 1 ID, and we're going to change the display from inline to block, because right now they're in inline. So we're going to change it to block, okay? We're going to do the same thing for link 2, change the display to block, okay? And when we run that, you're going to see that link 2 is actually going to drop a little bit down here under link 1, and now we have these two switch. Now these are inline elements, and now these are block elements, okay? And that's the difference between block elements and inline elements and how you can modify them using CSS.